Right, good afternoon again, everybody. My name is Niels Oosthuizen. I work for Jubaili Brothers Solar Division in South Africa. Today we will be hosting a webinar on solar PV financing options in South Africa. Co-hosting with me today will be Michelle Galloway. She works for CANDI Solar in South Africa, and they are a financing house in South Africa. Starting off with the presentation, we will just run briefly through the different companies and their origins, as well as the Huawei product range. So on this first slide, you can see that Jubaili Brothers was established in 1977 in Lebanon. And then as per the timeline below, you can see we expanded to UAE, Nigeria, Afghanistan, and all different countries. The South African branch was specifically established in 2016. And then in 2017, marking the 40-year anniversary of Jubaili Brothers, the company recognized the growth opportunities in renewable energies, and the solar division was specifically born from 2017. Since 2017, there's been expansion in Pakistan, in Kenya, and then also planning ahead in 2022 and beyond. On this next slide is a global map just showing flags, and wherever you see a flag of a country, Jubaili Brothers has got representation in the country. There's either a sales office or a manufacturing facility based in each country where you see a flag. In Jubaili Brothers Solars, we've got 6 key pillars that we would like to support our customers on. Running through them, the first one would be product supply. That is assisting you with the Huawei products, if it's the inverters, optimizers, or any other solar product range that we've got available. We can also assist you on tier 1 solar panels. We can assist on mounting structure as well as the rest of your bill of materials. The second pillar is training. We host webinars like this on a weekly basis, covering different topics to assist you guys on knowledge in the field. We also have training material available offline, and then we also do Huawei certified training to certify you as a certified installer by Huawei. The third pillar is engineering support. Jubaili Brothers has got a broad range of engineers that's working within the company that can assist you with regards to designs, optimizing designs, or even just assisting you on reviewing your designs or doing something from scratch. So we've got a team of engineers available in Dubai, South Africa, or in any region. There will be an engineer available to support you. The fourth pillar that we've got as a support to our customer is leads. Jubaili Brothers in itself is not an EPC or a company that's involved in the building of solar projects. So if a big corporate approaches us with a project to say that they would like to start off doing a solar system installation, we will then revert that lead towards our EPCs to say that, listen, this company has approached us and they would like to do a solar system install, and then we will also run through the whole process with you from design to procurement to construction. Then the fifth pillar is referral to finance, and this pillar is also more specifically applicable to today's webinar, and that is that Jubaili has got a wide network of corporates that it's working together with, and then we also have contacts in various institutions that we can refer you to. So if you have a project that you would like financing on, whether it's a small residential system or a bigger CNI one, I think the financing is actually more applicable to the CNI sector, then we will refer you to the correct applicable institution that can assist you on what you need. Then the sixth pillar from Jubaili's customer support is after-sales support. And that is that Jubaili is not only in this game or in this market to just sell you a box, and then once the box is taken, then we're done with. No, we're here to support you all the way through. So we will sell you the product, but then also afterwards, we will assist you on any troubleshooting you might have. If there's a rare instance where you might have a failure, we can also assist you with replacing the product on warranty support. Jubaili Bros and the Huawei partnership. So why has Jubaili chosen Huawei as a partner? So first of all, we are a value-added partner for Huawei and also a certified service partner. The reason for the partnership, or why we have chosen Huawei, is that Huawei provides more energy, which is higher yields, and then they have a smart operation and maintenance system, which lowers your operational expenses, and then it's also a safe and reliable brand with 25 years reliability. So continuing now with the introduction onto Huawei. So who is Huawei? I think we all know Huawei as a cell phone brand or being in the telecommunication center, but Huawei was founded in 1987, and then they've got various technologies that they are involved in. So on the consumer side, it's the cell phones, but then on the carrier side, they're involved with data centers, and then also now lately is digital power, of which the Fusion Solar brand is part of, and that is the PV energy side. So Huawei spends more than 10% of its revenue in research and development, and that has accumulated to more than 70 billion over the past decade. Huawei is also ranked fifth in the 2018 EU Industrial R&D Investment Scoreboard by the European Commission. And then by the end of 2019, a total of 80,000 plus patents applications have been granted, and above 90% of that was invention patents. So Huawei string. So the Huawei is focusing on string inverters. It's not the central inverters that used to be. And then on this left-hand graph, you can actually see that the gray sector is your central inverters and the blue is the string inverters. And then as the years has passed on, string inverters has taken over as being the mainstream inverter type being used in utility scale scenarios. And then on the string inverter specifically, Huawei holds more than 50% of the market share. Then Huawei was also ranked number one in global shipment of inverters from 2015 all the way up to 2019. And then also in 2020, from the information that I've got on my side, Huawei was also the number one global inverter shipment brand in 2020 as well. So Huawei Digital Power is a global operation. So this is again just a world map showing all the places where Huawei is active. So they're active in 170 countries, more than 6,000 employees, of which 60% is dedicated to research and development. They've got 12 research and development centers and then 5 competency centers, and then more than 10% of the revenue is invested in research and development. Then Huawei has got a complete range of solutions on the PV market. So they've got solutions available for residential, on the commercial side, as well as on the utility side. Residential, they've got their specific battery, which is the Luna, which is compatible with the residential inverters. Huawei has got its own branded optimizers. It's utilizing its own monitoring platform. Commercial side, just the commercial inverters, smart logger for communication, as well as to third-party monitoring platforms. And then on the utility scale side, we've got the smart transformer station, which is also a station built by Huawei itself, which allows you to connect multiple inverters to the station, and then you can step up the voltage to whatever requirement you have, if it's on a distribution side or a transmission side, anything all the way up to 66 kilovolts. Then why should you choose Huawei inverters? Well, Huawei inverters gives you better overall performance. It's easy to install, and then we also provide you with great after-sales support. And then the levelized cost of electricity is a measure of the average net present cost of electricity generation for a generating plant over its lifetime. So with the Huawei ease of installation, you reduce your initial expenditure to get your site up and running. But then with the higher reliability of the Huawei inverters, your operational expenses is reduced since you have reduced operation and maintenance, or the availability of your inverters is a lot higher. Overall performance of Huawei inverters, this is just a quick indication of the efficiency of the inverters. So on a 20 kTL, which is the smallest size commercial industrial, we've got a 98.3% efficiency. But then all the way going to the 200 kTL utility scale, we've got a maximum efficiency of 99%. And then these efficiencies are market leading with comparison to other inverter brands. So next slide, we've got Huawei higher yields. So on average, the Huawei gives you more than 1 or 1.5% better yields in comparison with competitor brands. In this first test case scenario, you would see that Huawei inverter was 196 kTL. Huawei inverter 2 was also 196 kTL. But then the third inverter brand was actually a larger 228 kilowatt. DC to AC ratios are specified, but then in comparison with the third-party inverter, you will see that Huawei is given a 0.92% higher yield and also a plus 1.5% high yield. And this is only over a duration of 4 months. So if you take into consideration the higher yields that you're getting over a period of 4 months and take it over a lifespan of the system for 20 years, that 0.92 or plus 1.5% makes a big difference when it comes to the monetary value that you're getting out of the inverter brand. Second one is also, it's a same comparison or a similar comparison. Huawei 175 KTL versus competitor 225. And again, the Huawei inverter had better yields within the same installation conditions. Then our next slide is the high reliability of Huawei inverters. So Huawei has identified a few components inside an inverter that is, or that tend to fail more often than not. And the first one is fuses. So Huawei has removed fuses. Second one is the LCD screen that's prone to failure. Again, Huawei has removed the LCD screen. And then also buttons, because we as humans are prone to want to push buttons to see how they work and what we can see. So Huawei has also removed the buttons so that you don't have people with maybe not the right amount of skills or somebody just coming to fiddle. So nobody would be able to just fiddle with something. And then it's one less component that can fail. Then as Huawei is coming from the telecommunication industry, so it has combined its knowledge and expertise in the telecommunication centers and combined it with the fusion solar. So they've got natural cooling that's verified by the telecom and solar application. Next one, continuing with the Huawei higher reliability. So reliability is Huawei DNA. It's strictly tested by GCTC above industry level. The Huawei Global Compliance and Testing Center is recognized by international authoritative organizations. And then here you can just see some of the specific tests that that inverter has to go through before it's been approved for market or before it can go out. From low temperature performance tests, heat dissipation, leaf or dust cover, salt spray test for coastal conditions, high temperature test. Then there's the highly accelerated lifetime test, which is actually a cycle where it's cooled to minus 60 degrees and then immediately heated to 110. And this cycle is continued to test the reliability of the inverter. Also undergoes a dust-proof test and then a salt mist reliability test. And then also a fantastic one to see, and you can also go and have a look at this one on YouTube, is the rocket-triggered lightning test that gets conducted on these inverters. And all of these tests are to ensure the high reliability of Huawei inverters. Then the next slide shows that Huawei inverters are compatible with bifacial PV modules. And again, it's showing that we get on average 3% higher yields in comparison on bifacial PV plants. On this specific one in China, there was a 4.14% higher yield. So the high reliability of the Huawei inverters or the better yields is also compatible with bifacial. Then Huawei inverters is also compatible for floating solar PV applications. The inverters are rated IP66. They've got built-in Type 2 surge arresters on both AC and DC side. Anti-PID is also built into inverters, and there's more safety with ground fault protection and lightning protection. Then Huawei inverters is compatible with high power PV modules. So lately, the bigger range of PV modules, the 550s, or as soon as you go 595, 600, the short circuit current rating of these modules are typically a lot higher. But then on the Huawei inverter, the MPPT can handle 26 amps, so it is compatible with high powered modules. Then moving on to the Huawei inverters ease of installation. So the Huawei inverters has got some unique design features. First of all, it's got multiple MPPTs, so there's no need for a DC combiner box. Then it's easy to daisy chain the inverters on communication side with RS485. And then they've got easy plug and play connections. So it's easy, you don't need to unscrew a lot of covers before you can start connecting. The connection points are available in the plug and play configuration on the bottom side of the inverter. Then moving over, Huawei and Jubaili, well, this is the fast and easy commissioning. So Huawei inverters actually allows you for easy on-site commissioning via your cell phone. there's also the second opportunity available to commission via a web interface if you've got a smart logger. But then the commissioning process is very easy, from basic info, automatic device detection, setting up your management system, or indicating if you're using WLAN, 4G, 3G, fast Ethernet connections, whatever your internet connectivity connection is, management system. That's easy to set up. And once those first 3 steps is done, your system is basically complete. From there, you can add more plants or add more devices as you expand, and everything is as easy as doing it on your phone on site, or if so, you could also do it remotely. Moving on, we're going on to the Huawei inverters and their active safety. So on this slide here, we're just showing some of the safety features that's included in Huawei inverters, from excessive low PV string parallel resistance, excessive high PV string series resistance, abnormal curve near multiple power point in the PV string, slight current mismatch. All of these safety features are included in the inverter, but we can do a separate webinar on each section of Huawei inverters, whether it's residential, CNI, or utility. We're just going to run through this briefly now so that we can go over to the more important financing side. Also, just quickly mentioning, so on the Huawei inverters, they've got built-in AFCI protection, which is arc fault circuit interruption. So we all know that DC is a very dangerous voltage, and it's quite high arcs. But then Huawei inverters is up to 150% better on the standard. So the standard for AFCI is the UL1669B, and it requires a detection up to 80 meters. Huawei is 150% better. We can detect up to 200 meters. And then going on to the current section, according to the standard, you need to be able to test at 16 amp. But then on the Huawei, we can do all the way up to 26 amps. Moving over, so Huawei's got its own remote monitoring and troubleshooting platform. So the Fusion Solar Smart PV Management System, it's an online system. It's accessible on your phone or on your computer or tablet or anywhere where you are remotely. As long as you have an internet connection, you will be able to see your plant, see its performance, and then also troubleshoot it to see if there are any problems on it. So this is just some screenshots of how the plant is looking. You can have a single plant overview showing you system components, the yields for the day, and perhaps yields for the month. Or you can do it per day, and this will then be per hour. Moving over to the next slide, we're just going to go on to the troubleshooting side. So on Huawei, we've got a function called Smart IV Curve Diagnostics. It's basically troubleshooting your system without physically being on site. And the advantage of this is that you're saving time on labor, you're saving time on traveling fees, and then also you're saving time on the actual testing procedure. So if a person has to manually test the whole site, it can take them anything from a few hours to a day. But with the Huawei Smart IV Curve Diagnostics, you can diagnose the plant within 5 to 10 minutes, a complete 15 or 20 megawatt plant. Then moving over to the next slide would be after sales. That would be from the Jubaili side. So as a value-added partner and a certified service partner for Jubaili, we are your first and go-to people for after-sales support. So if you have trouble in identifying a problem on site, we can help you. You can send us the logs. We can review the logs to see what might the problem be. Or if we've got access to it on your monitoring platform, we can also physically have a look and see if we can see what a problem is. But then also, if you do have a failure, we will handle all the logistics and the communication with Huawei to get your warranty approved and then also replaced. And that's one of the big advantages with Huawei as well, is Huawei does not believe in just replacing parts, but if there's a failure, your complete inverter gets replaced. Also, as part of the after-sales support that we provide is that we've got a big database at Jubaili that includes all the data sheets, manuals, user manuals, installation guides. We've got the seminars, webinars, and trainings. So webinars would be similar like this one. We've got recordings available. We've got offline training material, which would be like PDF format that you can also go through if you need to better understand the product. Easy and accessible communication. You can contact us, WhatsApp, phone us, email us, whatever is convenient for you, and we are available to assist you. Jubaili Bros Knowledge Center, that's just a database with all the information, single line diagrams, CAD files, and again, data sheets whenever you require. And then we also have a YouTube channel where all of these webinars gets uploaded, and then you can also review them conveniently at your own time. Then I'm just quickly going to run through the Huawei product range. Again, there will be separate webinars for each one of these product ranges. So first of all, on the residential side, Huawei's got inverters single phase from 2 to 6 kTL. This L1 indication at the back is what's indicating that it's single phase. On the free phase, it's available from a 3 kilowatt to a 10 kilowatt, the M1 being the indication that it is free phase. But then again, you've got multiple inputs or multiple inputs per MPPT. So on a single residential, it's 2 MPPTs with 2 inputs each. On the free phase, same story, and then we've just got some of the functions available: arc fault circuit interrupter, anti-PID, and it is compatible with optimizers. Then moving over to the next slide, residential Luna lithium-ion battery. So Huawei has developed its own battery and battery management system that works together with its residential series. The advantage of this system is that the intelligent monitoring of the battery management system or of the battery modules means that one of these individual battery modules can deplete it all the way to 0%, while the others can be 60 and 80 and it will still be fully functional. And you can also replace batteries as you go along. So you can mix all the new batteries and the system will still operate at 100% capacity that it has got available. Then CNI, commercial industrial, on the smaller range, it's from 12 kTL to 20 kTL. The next step up would be a 30 to a 40 kTL available in South Africa. The next step would be 50 and 60. And then the most popular one in South Africa would be the 100 kilowatt. Again, on this slide, we're just showing the number of inputs per MPPT and how many MPPTs it's got available. Some communication options available on each inverter. But again, we do have a dedicated webinar specifically on commercial industrial. So if you're interested on the commercial industrial, please go have a look at one of the videos already available on YouTube, or keep your eyes open for the next webinar on commercial and industrial. Then briefly just touching on utility scale. So on the utility scale, if we're going more than 10 megawatt or all the way up to 100, 200 megawatt, Huawei's got a 200 kTL inverter available. Then we also have a smart transformer station. So all of the inverters will be connected to the transformer station. The transformer station also houses your SACU device, your smart device, which controls the inverters and communications. But then a nice feature about the Huawei inverters is the M-bus communication, which means you don't need to run separate RS485 cables to each inverter or to each transformer station. The communication can be via the power cables with M-bus, so it saves you on capex for cables and digging extra trenches to separate power and communication cables. So there's a big saving over there. And the transformer station, yeah, it allows you to step the voltage up to your required connecting capacity, whether it's 11 kV, 22, 33, or 66 kV. So this can be specified during the design stages. And then please, if you do have any of these utility scale projects that you would like to share with us, we would like to review designs and see how we can fully optimize the system with you to have optimal design and lower your capital expenditures. So please feel free to contact us on any of these projects that you've got available or that you're busy tendering on. Right, so that's it from my side, from the Jubaili brothers side. I'm now going to hand over to Michelle Galloway from CANDI, and she will be running through the finance side with you. Thanks very much.
Thanks so much, Niels, for the introduction, and a special thanks to Jubaili Bros for offering us this opportunity to actually join you in one of these presentations. On a personal level, it's also nice to be joining my old Jubaili colleagues for a presentation. But yeah, without further ado, let me just start with the introduction into CANDI Solar and essentially where we got our name. If you look at it, CANDI can be quite misleading. Where does it come from? Is it in the solar industry? And essentially it stands for C and I. So that's the space that we actually focus on, commercial and industrial projects. So essentially, in this presentation, I'll just be giving you a brief overview of CANDI and then obviously the models that we have available within our company. And then we'll have a brief look at our competitor environment and actually where we are competing. And then just to touch base on the benefits of using our model and partnering with CANDI. First up, this is just an overview of our leadership team. Our CEO, Philippe, is actually originally from South Africa, and they started CANDI in our headquarters in Zurich in Switzerland, and that's essentially where we get our funding from. We also have a big brother in India. Nisant is the MD over there, and then obviously we have operations here in South Africa as well. These are just some of our core investors. Essentially, CANDI doesn't go and loan money. It's equity on our balance sheet. So it's direct investing into renewable projects, solar PV, battery solutions. And then, of course, in South Africa, Africa in general, we need some backup power. So that's where we also fund some generators as well. So why do you want to partner with CANDI? Essentially, we have over 750 megawatts of experience in funding renewable energy projects, and that's just our leadership team. We are represented in 7 offices and 4 key regions, which is Switzerland, India, South Africa, and the Netherlands. The clients that we've catered to in these short few years have been in 13 different industry sectors. We've actually done about 36 installations now in the 4 years that we've been in operation. And essentially, we only use tier 1 products and approved tier 1 products within our installations. As a financier, what we look for in equipment is the bankability of products. And that's what makes Huawei such a nice partner and equipment to use in our projects, because we know we can bank on this equipment. Now, something that makes our funding solution a bit different, and what I like to call our secret sauce, essentially, is our tax redeemable upfront investment. Here in South Africa, essentially, you get a tax benefit from SARS, and we make use of that tax efficient structure to model our finance solutions. Now we just look at an overview of some of our clients in South Africa and India, some reputable brands here, Jubaili. We've also recently signed a contract with IFF. But yeah, some good reputable companies that we've partnered with and done some installations for. Now we get to a product overview. This is basically CANDI. As you can understand, not all customers fit the same solution. So what CANDI tries and does is tailor our solutions to the client. And doing this just gives them a few more options to look at when funding a renewable energy product. First up is the performance-linked installment sale, and it replicates a PPA in a sense, but yeah, it uses that secret sauce that I was referring to. Then we can also look at the normal PPAs, that we are all familiar with. That's the 20-year, 25-year finance solutions. Then we also have a solar loan. It's a loan to procure solar equipment if you don't want to make use of our O&M division. And then a sale and leaseback model where you as a company could perhaps already have solar installed, but you want to take out a loan against it. So essentially, we buy back the solar plant from you and sell the power back at a rand per kilowatt hour basis. Then we also do roof rentals, and this is essentially quite neat for companies like retail centers, like shopping centers. Essentially, they usually have these big roof spaces where we can actually rent the roof from them and then sell power to their tenants. Then we look at our competitor environment, and essentially our first competitor is always cash. A lot of companies, obviously, they have their own money to finance their renewable energy. And what makes it a bit different, of course, you have this enhanced liquidity. You see the cash benefit of buying it up outright. But the CANDI upside on this is we obviously supply the cash for it, so you don't need to take out your own finance for it. And we take operational risk on the system. So essentially, if within the 20 or 25 years of the contract, or even if it's a shorter term contract, 3 to 14 years, we make sure that that system is fully operational for the duration of the contract. Essentially, there is no capital expenditure from the customer for anything except their rand per kilowatt hour charge that we charge them on a monthly basis. Then, of course, we move on to the banks. A lot of companies have really strong relationships with their banks, and they go for funding through them first. And what makes it a bit different from CANDI's perspective, of course, by all means, banks would always be at a lower rate, but they just give you the funding for the projects, right? And where we take full operational risk. So essentially, the bank expects their money each month, whether your system is operational or not. So we take full risk on the installation, the solar production, and essentially we give you that liquidity within your business to focus on your core business rather than worrying about your solar plant that's not functioning as it should. I think another competitor that's left off the slide is, of course, other PPA providers. And what makes CANDI a bit different is that ability to tailor the solutions and also to offer shorter term contracts, like I mentioned, anything from 3 to 14 years, where usual PPA contracts are about 20 to 25 years. So you never see that true benefit of the solar savings. Then just the last slide, just to give you an overview of CANDI and what the benefits is of working with a company like CANDI is we are a flexible team player. In that sense, we work with you and the client to reach a solution, a financial solution, to make the project as feasible as possible. Effectively, we act as owner's engineers without charging the fee of an owner's engineer. We have simple contracting structures. Essentially, we sell power and electricity to the customer, and it's on a pay-for-use basis. So essentially, the client only pays for the power that they use on the PV system, not for the power that's produced. So we make use of flexible and tax-structured customer finance solutions, again, touching on that tailored solutions for our customers. So the best practice, this falls in line with the owner's engineer's comment, and it's the best practice installation and project management. So we essentially need to ensure that our investment is operating as it should, because we retain that rand per kilowatt hour tariff from the customer. And if the system isn't producing those kilowatt hours, we are not charging the customer for that, and we are not making our returns on the investment. So that ensures that we are 100% aligned with the customer's best interest. Then we can also fund BESS, which is battery energy storage solutions. And that's becoming quite a regular thing, especially here in South Africa with the massive load shedding and power cuts that we're experiencing currently. We're seeing more and more proposals requesting backup and generator finance as a whole product solution for the customer. Another thing that makes CANDI quite nice, especially for EPCs to work with, is essentially that we negotiate milestone payments within the contracts, and we give you the cash to actually proceed with the installation. So you don't need to worry about hassling your client to make payments. It's all negotiated up front with CANDI, and we release the money as you reach those milestones. Then, as I mentioned, we focus on short-term finance structures that are available. And then we have our own in-house credit risk assessment process and, of course, our own funding. But that's all from my side. Thank you very much for this opportunity to present to you. I see there's a question from Neelis actually. Do you have plans to operate in Uganda? There are some options that need financing. So we're definitely looking at expanding into the rest of Africa. We're currently focusing on Kenya as a market, and we're working really closely with a few EPCs there to just tailor our solutions to that market. It's right next door to Uganda, so it's definitely in our scope to look at that market as well. I don't see any other questions for me, but I do see a question from Neela, so I'm going to give it back to him.
Right. Thank you very much, Michelle, for your contribution towards this presentation and valuable input. We definitely look forward to doing business together or more collaboration between Huawei, Jubaili, and CANDI side. Yes, so the one question that I posted to you was actually a question from one of the attendees, but you've already answered it. So thank you very much. I hope your response was helpful to him. Then the question to myself is, do you supply Huawei Smart Residential Solar in Nigeria? Ishmael, yes, there are options available in Nigeria. I already have your contact details on the attendance register, so I will send you the correct contact details to a person in your area that can assist you directly. I have quickly gone through the chat mode as well. There was no further specific questions to the topic or with regards to financing or the Huawei product range. But yes, so first of all, it is like Michelle said, there is not a single solution or a one size fits all for everybody. So please, on this next slide, all of the contact details is available for UAE region, for myself in South Africa, as well as Michelle. So if you have any project requirements or a specific project in mind that you would like assistance on from a technical perspective or from financial side, please reach out to us so that we can assist you in the best possible way to ensure that the system that you have or the financing that you require is tailored to your needs. So thank you very much for attending this webinar. I'm just going to put up an exit survey, and just please, if you can just spare 1 or 2 minutes and complete that for us, and thereafter we will end everything. Thank you very much.